How's everyone doing tonight? Can you hear me? Is the mic doing okay? How's everyone doing today? Let me actually click on my own live to see if I can hear myself. How's everyone doing today? That's good, George. I wasn't sure. I had issues getting it to log on. So it's always the scary part of that, trying to get to log on and get everything to read correct. So how's everything out in California, George? Everything going good? I know we've been having on and off showers all day today. The weather's been pretty hectic here, so I'm hoping that it will mellow out a little bit, but we'll have to see. Oh, Glee. Hey, Patty B. Rain in Kentucky, too. Yeah, it's crazy because one side of the, like, literally not even 2 miles from where I'm at, they had a downpour of almost 2 to 3 inches earlier. Got 100 shrink wraps. Yeah, I got 100 shrink wraps, right? I've got just within reach. I think this is 500 right here alone. So yeah, I got plenty of shrink wraps. I always got stuff. Hey, have a question. When the red light is on, do you go inside and get one for free? I am vaccinated, so they are giving them away for free. Normally, though, I end up going through the drive-thru just because the drive-thru is more convenient for me. And I usually never ask for the free one because I'm always getting a dozen anyways. Okay, I'll order 90210. I knew that was Rye's favorite movie. The Peach Pit and all that. I was looking for your video that was talking about the different transfers. I see you have wand transfers on the right column. Yeah, George, I have my own machine. Lately I've been just using other people. Just because, hey Juan, how's it going? Just trying to get it all set up. George, where I feel comfortable printing for loads of my stuff or other people. But another good one is a Fusion prints. They make a pretty good one. Also, the reds will not be correct, though. So if you're critical about the reds, you will have to kind of blend your own red or use kind of what they have on their – they have a little chart on their website you can kind of use. But, yeah, I've used just about them all. Hey, George, I finally sent your stuff. Did my stuff get sent, Juan? I will say this, guys. If you haven't watched Juan's latest video, watch it at the 24-minute mark, a few seconds after. There's probably one of the best tumblers you'll see. I'm just throwing that out there. It's kind of crispy, though, but one of the best ones he's done. Have you ever done sublimation on tumblers with regular mug press? I've got an 8-in-1 heat press and wasn't sure about trying a mug press for a tumbler. I haven't. I've seen it done. I've watched some friends that have them. Normally what you're going to have to do is, because the mug press, I don't have a mug press sitting in here. It's in the other room. The mug press never really meets perfectly right here. Even on the Cricut one, there's a slight gap. So what you have to do is midway through, you've got to rotate it because there's not putting enough heat on there. So literally you got to rotate 180 degrees. So you have to watch for that. Or if you don't, you're going to see a color, which I don't have any that had that mess up, but you'll have a color like that's just a seam, but you'll have a color spot on the seam. Look how good that lined up. That's perfect seam work. But if you don't, you'll end up getting kind of like a light spot, I guess you'd say, for if you don't get it rotated correctly. But you got to have a mug press that covers the whole thing, because if not, you're manipulating it too much. What's going to happen too? It's going to push that paper and squeeze it, and cause a lot of issues on it and not make it come out as good. So try to avoid that if all possible. As long as the mug press is big enough, you'll be fine. But you could still end up with ghosting as it squeezes it unless you tape it really good. There's no need to shrink it in a mug press because that kind of defeats the purpose, but you can get it to work. I personally would just throw them in the oven if it was me, but you can use them, Patty, and some people have good results with them. It's just, to me, if you still got to rotate, it can be a lot more headaches with it. George says, gracias, Juan. I really appreciate it. See, Juan, I learned Spanish. Mucho gracias, Señor Juan. Or Señorita Juan. There we go. Rude. I thought since it was my birthday, I'd at least get a good tumbler. Hey, Lily, he definitely, he made yours like some people like food, extra crispy. Now, it's kind of like the marshmallow thing, because these are white like the marshmallow. I'm sure if you peel that crispy piece off, the marshmallow's still ooey gooey inside. But some people like that charcoal marshmallow on a s'mores. So Juan was just thinking it that way. I'm guessing, Lily. So your birthday's today, Lily? Juan said he learned from the best. I thank you. I take that compliment. Juan says, happy birthday, Lily. Hang on. I'll do the translation. Happy birthday in Spanish.
In Spanish, you would say, Feliz cumpleaños.
There you go, Lily. I got it in case Juan wasn't good at it. So,
Feliz cumpleaños.
See, I'm multilingual. I got this on lock right here. It's Thursday, but by the time the shipping it will be here by Thursday. That is not true, Lily. I'm still waiting stuff for almost a year ago to be shipped. So maybe your planning could be a little off there, Lily. I'm just saying. I mean, I hope not, but I'm just saying. LOL, now that I know, I won't ship it. The only good thing, Lily, though, you're in the same state as him, so I'm sure you could drive over there and pick it up. That's because he doesn't like you very much. Well, if you go pick up your gift, Lily, pick up my stuff and ship it. Lily's just speaking the truth, I guess. So what's everyone working on tonight? I know Rye's working on hats for the next like 72 days or something like that on 18-hour shifts. I'm not going to be home that day. Yeah, but you have to go home and sleep, Juan. She knows where you sleep. Just pull one of them creeper moves, Lily, and just sit outside in the driveway. Hey, what's up, Graphics Warehouse? There's also that big UFC fight on tonight, too. I just saw a good used 27-inch oven for $45 in Orange County, California, Craigslist. Double wall, someone doing a remodel on their house and wants the double stacker out. That's not too bad, George. Like, honestly, too, like a bigger oven will work a lot better. In Juan's video, of course, he went a few minutes longer than he normally would have. But in general, as long as you've got your time dialed in, it works great. What I found, too, though, is even if you're using a bigger oven, I wouldn't put as many in. Like Juan did. Just the only reason I don't is because I don't run the wire through it to peel them off, which the wire is a great idea. You can do that if you've got like piano wire or that leather strip like he had, which I don't have any. But if you don't, what happens when they cool, some of the shrink can be a little bit hard to peel off, where if you peel it when it's a little bit warm, it peels right off. So what I did, like when I did that last run, and I've got a few to do tonight. Normally what I do is I put one in, and then as I'm pulling it out, I'm putting the other one in so that once I peel that and get it all the way peeled off, the other one's about ready to come out. And so I'm just doing a constant cycle of that way so that it continues to go, and I'm pulling them off apart hot. You can do them when they're cooler. Some people like doing it that way. I just find it harder to get, especially if it sticks to the bottom any, because then you got to reheat it and try to chip away at it. If it's hot, it will always kind of peel off, so you don't have to worry about it chipping the paint on it or powder coat. So normally I go at it that way. I'm going to make baby clothes. That's pretty good, Lily. Are you sewing them? Are you embroidering them? Are you sublimating them? How are you doing it? Be right back. Gotta say goodbye to my daughter. Okay. Juan's little girl's growing up quick. She's already heading out. If you remind me, Lily, and email me your address, I'll try to get you a donut for your birthday. But you have to remind me. You have to send me the address again. I don't remember it. Sewing, but adding embroidery on chicken. Embroidering on chicken on the butt, and guess what's on the front? Embroidering a chicken on the butt. And guess what's on the front? I don't know, because the only thing I can think of is like when you say chicken butt. Oh, it says guess what? Is that what it does? I'm guessing it says guess what on the front. I hope so, because I hope I'm not that slow, but ding, 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 ding. Oh, winner. I feel like I'm at the carnival. Doot, 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 doot. So when they're running away, that's all you'll see. Not unless you get them baby leashes. I've seen people use them baby leashes and like Walmart and all that. And then when they take off, you just pull it back really quick. And no. So you're embroidering guess what on the front too, Lily, or just the chicken? Are you like screen printing the front, sublimating it, or are you doing embroidery on both? Us Mexicans use fear of, see, no leashes here. I know, I just seen it, people walk around. But I will say this, I seen something, it was funny, but I didn't get to record it. I was in Walmart yesterday, and literally I hear screaming and fighting and all that. I go up to the front, there were like 5 people fighting at the entrance of Walmart. And of course, then the police ran in and broke it all up. But I didn't get my phone out in time. I was kind of, it was a redneck brawl, I guess, over the last can of dip. I don't know. The one lady, like, she hit the other one and then took off running. And then like the in-store person went after her, then the other people went after the other ones. It was kind of interesting. Hey Ronnie, how's it going? I got your message earlier, Ronnie. I don't know anyone that has a hat press. And I don't really have a big one that I recommend personally either, because like the Hottronics one's nice, but it's way overpriced in my opinion. And I haven't bought one directly from China, so I can't really say much about them either. Everyone I've had on a hat press, I would definitely go with the clam style instead of the swing away. Every swing away one, like I like swing away presses, but on a hat press, every swing away one that I've had, it ends up hitting the hat when I'm swinging it. And if I undo the tension enough, when I go to pull it back down, it's not enough tension. So I'm literally swinging it over, retightening it. It's a joke. So I don't like the swing away ones. I do like the clam styles better. I ordered. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I don't have I was gonna say a good suggestion, because I mean, like I said, the Fusion one's nice and all that. It's just super expensive. I went cheap to see if it would work. Clam with the tag attachment. Yeah, I was gonna say, because honestly, that's what most people are using it for. Also, just to do the tags. So, like, I mean, especially if it's got the attachment. Like I said, it's just usually I do them that way. The hats, I mean, they do have the different platen attachments. There are different hats that are going to have a slightly different curve. So if you're using it for the direct to film, some's going to work better than others. I have done that. They will stick. Just got to make sure you get them pressed good With the direct to film, though, it works better than some of the other transfers on it. So I have had good luck with them, but it will take a little, like at least one I had the swing away. It took a little work to get it lined up and correct every time, but it did do a good job. Is all the equipment that you've got in running really good now? You got it all dialed in how you want it? Did the colors kind of change like I told you once you got it kind of circulated through a little bit? And kind of got right where you like them now, probably? 570 working well. And the direct to film is, yeah. That's really good to hear. Direct to film's pretty fun stuff. I mean, yeah, the Epson color is way better. Yeah, that's the thing is like when I tell people, I was like, if you use that, it's not spot on, but it's pretty close to spot on to what they need to be. And it works so much better. Tecumseh airbrush. Your thoughts on dry? Too much head holding. How about white underbase without screen printing on the digital transfers? Your thoughts on dryer or on dry? And then how about white underbase without the screen printing on the underbase? You're on it. On the direct to film transfers, the big thing is a good example, the more white, and this is one right here, the more white you put down, as you can see, there's only, and it's even hard to see, there's the front, there's the back. The more white you put down on the direct to films, it's going to have a heavier hand feel. But, and here's a perfect example right here. This is a color chart, or not really color chart, just the rainbow. See the white? It is literally solid. When I'm holding it up here, the reason you're seeing that, I've got a super high bright light over here. But these ones right here have no color whatsoever. It's just CMYKs printed. So the big difference, like Ronnie just said, that's not a lot of white. And so what happens, like if you don't put a lot of white, this is going to have a lot softer feel, but you're going to get the, not really dye migration, you're going to get the color of the shirt coming through. I've printed this on that shirt that I do wear, and it darkens them up a lot. It makes the blue, which the blue was dark anyways, it makes the blue more of a royal or a navy blue almost. So I'm kind of big at going a little bit heavier on the white. The thing too about transfers, where everyone asks about how they feel, they don't feel the same as direct to film or direct to garment printing, even though it's the same process pretty much on the ink. Because the direct to garment, you're putting the adhesive onto the shirt with the spray gun instead of on the back of the here, and the ink is literally floating right onto the top of the shirt. Yeah, and like there's another thing right there too. Tacoma airbrush, like she was saying, I was getting to that too. Like, because the other thing too, you can do it this way, and it's fine. And like the feel, honestly, it's not like a lot of people say it feels like a transfer. If I screen print, and I've got shirts like this is a screen printed shirt, I feel the ink because this isn't water based. So the back of this shirt is a massive print. Now what you can do is like the back of that shirt where the Felix the cat, as you see it, that's knockout. So what we did on these, which I didn't print them, but I know who did, is my friend Vega, is what they did is there's no color in the Felix. It's just the shirt color. So if you do that with the transfer feels almost the same. The only difference is, and some of the things like for instance, it's hard to see it, but on this shirt, they did the one white. They didn't do a white overcoat on it. They just did literally print flash print. They didn't do like the two. They actually did print flash, but he didn't do a super heavy white. So literally on Felix's face is a little bit lighter than it could have been. The back's fine, but the feeling, the difference too, it would be like what I would compare it to is if you took it to a heat press after and heat pressed it. So the feeling is not bad. Like Rye likes them. Rye uses them. It's a different feel. It's like if you, like I said, took a screen printed shirt to a heat press after. You're still going to feel it. Now, if you do the solid blob, yeah, you're going to feel it. It's going to feel like a square of vinyl almost because it's solid no matter what. But even on a screen print, if you do that, you're going to feel that. It will not let me order 90210 items on your website. Why? Best TV series ever. I think Rye was in there. He was the Peach Pit cook at one time. But another thing too, let me see if I can even get it to do it. Yeah, it's not going to do it. I'm going to say on some transfers you can peel these off, which I started to get that to peel. But the other thing too, like, there we go. I got it to peel. Here's another way, especially if you're doing transfers. If you can get them to peel without really breaking, you know you've got it cured just enough. These other ones were just no color on them. But that's just a color chart. Now, it's not going to ever restick because I peeled it off the paper. But that just kind of shows you something there. But if you do knockouts or if you do halftones, like if you use the shirt color for the things, like that's what Rye did on the other one, it gives it almost like a screen printed feeling. Because like there's no need, like if I'm doing a black print or if I'm printing out a black shirt, there's no need to have the black ink on there. If you do, you're just going to fill it up. The other thing you can do too, hey, Leonardo, how's it going? You can do the halftones and rasterize it and do like a gradient with the white so it gives it the same effect as screen printing. Rye, donate your Tajima. You heard it, Rye. He said Rye is donating a Tajima tonight, guys. Tonight's sponsor, Mountain Dew Baja Punch. It's really not that good, but it's what I had up there that was okay to have. Ronnie, well, the must have Corona wear a mask. Well, they must have Corona wear a mask. Okay. Have you tried TechBot cotton subs? No, I've tried someone's cotton sub. I don't know if it was TechBot's. I have tried someone's cotton sub. It's okay. The problem is like you're either going to get a slight frame. You can cut it fairly close. But like if you print it on black, you got to print the black sub over it. And you do have a soft feel, but you always have that shadow thing around it. I have seen people try to do like cut them on like a Cricut and all that. Some people have been successful. Some haven't. I've seen more that haven't been successful doing the cutouts with it. It's another option. I mean, it's the price thing would come to me, but I mean, other than that, it's another thing to give it a shot. A lot of people do have success with them. So is up a color worth it? Do they get more of the profit off your hustle? Your thoughts on Supercolor? I don't have none of these. I don't get no money off any of these people, unfortunately. Some of them said they would even give me a promo code to give out, and then they backed out. So I don't get a dime off of any of them. I wish they at least let me give discounts to you guys on stuff, but they don't. And then my thoughts on Supercolor. Hey, what's up, Impossible? I'm not a big Supercolor fan. I have tried them. I've talked to Rum personally a few times. I know how, like, I've known them like way back, pretty much before they even went public to people on the shows. I knew about their process. I've worked in a lot of the different processes, talking with vendors on working on other processes like that myself. So I knew their process. The thing I don't like about it, I don't like that you can't order just one, like a transfer, like literally like a direct to film. Like I've got some over there sitting on the shelf. They were literally, I just needed one print and I can buy that one print and I'm paying it in shipping. Que pasa, Waldo? He's got a promo to Krispy Kreme. Yeah, I'm working on that. Krispy Kreme's supposed to be getting me promo codes. So check your front door if someone's there. I don't think no one's at my house, Rye. I could be wrong, but I don't hear a door or anything. I don't have a ring. Krispy Kreme, yum. I wanted to say Juan has the best shipping ever. I just want to say. But yeah, the super color though, I don't like that you got to have a minimum order. The price, I believe, in my opinion, it's overpriced for what it is, not really what you're getting. I've had lift issues with their transfers. I've tested them and I've done exactly what they said. Because I tested them before and didn't really have a good results. And so Rum called me up and he was like, "Hey, can you do it this way, this way, this way?" I did the video. If you can go back and watch my video on it. And they did not come out like, I mean, it came out okay. The one messed up. One came out perfect. The other one came messed up. And the other one was okay. But for the price, I don't really like it. I think they're overpriced for what they really are. So I'm not really that big on them. So personally, I'm either going to make my own or I'm going to use one of the transfer companies I suggest in the videos. The only person at Waldo's house is some mass murderer. He lives in the sticks. Exactly, impossible. Like if someone's out there, let me know because I will have to grab a few things on the way up to the front door. Because like we even got like a road sensor thing when someone trips past the mailbox, and I haven't heard anything trip past there. Where's the dog? Do you want to see the? You want to see the dog? The dog's upstairs. She doesn't. I mean, she can do the stairs, but she's like, I don't know. She doesn't really come down the stairs much. She's kind of good that way, I guess you'd say. And I gave her a bunch of food, and I got her another bed. She goes through a bed about once a month, where literally she'll just chew them up. And so I got her a new one earlier, and a new toy. So she's been kind of, I guess you'd say, enjoying that. I was trying to get some videos of her crying because she begs when I eat for food. But every time I try to, literally, she knows I'm grabbing my camera, and then she'll look at me and then turn around and walk away as if to say, "You're not going to record me." So, elbow cough. Yeah. It's COVID. I just sent it through the mic, Lily. No, I am vaccinated, by the way. You do not have to worry. Here's one photo of her, Rye, though. You can see she's kind of kicked back on the recliner, doing her own little sleep. Patty B says, "Do you need anything special when using Epson Sublimation ink in the Inco tank 15,000? Patty, what I would suggest, I print on both paper. Like when I do a lot of my videos, I'm printing on normal paper. On my 15,000, I have a 570 and I have a 43 something. I have the big one also. Most of my big print stuff, I print on my bigger printers. The 15,000, 1500, or the 15,000 is, I got that literally just to do the videos. If you want to get better quality, print them on Sublimation Paper. You can print on normal paper also, and the results are very close. The only major difference is, like, here's one, and here's an example. Which this one you can't really tell, but this one was printed with normal paper, actually. It's not focusing. Like, you get good quality, and then this is a reflective glitter one, so it's not going to show it as well. You get really good quality, but you're going to get higher quality with sublimation paper. So if you're doing tumblers, I would suggest sublimation paper. If you're doing like mask or something like that, that isn't going to hold that high detail anyways, because it's not going to give you high quality detail, you can use normal paper and save some money on it. You can also buy the roll paper and cut it up. Like, so on my big prints, we use a sublimation all the time. It's just, we buy it by the roll. It's super cheap. But you can use either one. Because I think Supercolor and Transfer Express got too much profit off your laziness, i.e. unwilling to figure out how to screen print. Yeah, like what do you suggest I focus on promoting right now in terms of what's hot in sublimation? Thanks. I've been here. I don't know what I've been here mean. Oh. Juan burned my tumbler. Yeah, Juan did burn a tumbler. So definitely watch out for burning on Pat B. Yeah, like I think Supercolor literally, I mean, even what happens too is like they've got a big thing with Goon Life, my friend. And what it is like if you make a video about them, their product, and you're honest about it, say you don't like it, and it hits enough views or gets enough attention, usually you're going to get a call from them. And it's one of them things like literally I got the call and it was on a Sunday. And literally Rum was like, hey, can we just go over some of this stuff? And what it is like they don't like anyone to make them videos because he's like, well, it's hurting my sales. Well, the problem is, I mean, it's just honest, truthful videos, but they're very big at not having people do that and or they're like, hey, we can give you a promo code so you can get some kickback money from every time someone uses the code. It's fine, but I don't want that. And I don't stand behind the product. So I'm not going to accept that. But that's kind of what, like, if you keep making them, they don't like it a lot and they kind of get offended by it, which, I mean, I understand how people are, but it's also business. I mean, people make loads of other products. People make everything. Even some of the products I have, I sell different wraps. I have the shrink wraps. I also have these silicone wraparounds, and everyone's got their opinion on which one they like and dislike. You just got to take it for what it is and move on. As far as what's the next hot thing in sublimation, it depends on your market. It depends what you're wanting to sub. I mean, I sell loads of products, as you know, at my Bananas and Pickle site. Tumblers have stayed super busy for me. I do see that slowly, I wouldn't say dying out, but the problem that I'm running into is they're coming up with new things all the time, and some of it's hit and miss. Like I've got glow-in-the-dark tumblers. I've got, this is one of them UV color changing tumblers. They make so many different ones. Well, the problem is you can stock them all, but it's not too bad, but I mean, you're waiting a month to get the products in, and then like literally they just came out with another one that I've got somewhere around here that are the glow in the dark, and they're the color changing ones. Well, the problem is like it's not bad, but they're always something new, and some of them, like I've got the ones that I gave out, the perfect example, one of these, the shimmer ones, like the colored, like the pink ones, they change colors. It's like a holographic thing. They made all these. I bought some of these. These I don't like. They don't sub too good, but they're always changing thing. And the problem is like, for instance, this style, it's a learning curve. So if someone buys it and they're not big on them ones right away, then you're going to run into the issue of trying to explain how to get them to work because they're a lot harder to work with than a normal one. So I'm not really sold on that. And then, of course, socks, masks, sublimations are fading out. Socks aren't really socks are seasonal though. Like, so when we do a lot of socks, we get it for sports. So sports people are the ones that are always big on it. So soccer, basketball, them are the two major sports that are buying the socks for that stuff. So it comes into seasons. When basketball season's in, you're going to have some more sales, depending on. And then we do occasional few volleyballs, but that's a seasonal sport that are big on the socks. We do get people that buy the custom ones that want to put just faces on them or whatever, but that comes and goes. The mask, on the other hand, I see them going away. We're getting ready to do a big sale this week. We're probably going to do half off on all the masks. And after we're sold out, I'm probably not really going to carry them. And the reason I say that is just because most states aren't requiring it anymore. Some schools say they are going to have it. But it's something too that more people are being vaccinated now and they're not requiring it. Like stores aren't requiring it anymore. So it's just the majority of the things, like people aren't buying them as much. So like we've seen a big decline in masks, which I knew it would. But it's just not probably worth me carrying too many more of them. Like Silky Socks did a big thing yesterday or today where he bought, forget how many, like I think he quoted 1 million or something like that, some huge number. And he was like, hey, we got to unload him because he got stuck with way more than he thought trying to ride that big wave out, and it kind of collapsed on him. So he's liquidating them too. We didn't get stuck that bad. The nice thing with me is the people that I use on a lot of this isn't over in China. It's in other countries like Pakistan. It's I'm trying to think of the other ones. But they're Middle Eastern countries that do a lot of my sewing stuff. So the thing with that is my turnaround times are like less than a week on normally week at best, depending on how, from when they get my order done from sewing it. The thing with China, if you want to get it cheap, you got to do the slow boat, which takes a month. You do air shipping, you're going to pay an arm and a leg. So by me going that route, like I didn't get stuck like he did. Literally when I would get low, we run a program. I get a flag when it said I had less than 100 of that style in inventory, and all we did was reorder more and had them by the end of that week. So that works great that way. But that's the thing too. Not everyone does it that way. As far as socks goes, when you bring up socks, I don't sell socks, and here's the reason why. I'll tell you where the best place to go to get them and the best price. Go to Walmart and buy the AND1 brand. They're literally, you're paying less than $1 a pair for socks. And they do have AND1 on the toe, but they sublimate great. They are 98% polyester. So they take the ink well. They're super cheap. They work great. You can't really beat them. So like it's something, if I can't get a product in that's cheaper and better than what's out there, I'm not going to carry it on my shelf. I can get a sock that's better, but it's going to cost a lot more than what's out there. And for what most people wear socks. They're not like all athletes and all that. They don't need the crazy stuff done to them. But even the AND1, it's got ribbing bracing on the arch of the foot. It's done up really well, the AND1 socks. So it's hard to beat that. I can get literally like a Silky Sock knockoff because they sell them everywhere. And I could be priced at Silky Sock price, but my big thing with that is if I can tell you where to go get it, that's cheaper and it's just as good as quality. I'm not going to try to sell a product that I can't really compete with, like Walmart or AND1. So to me, on the socks, go there, man. It's the best price. You can't beat that. Walmart, right? And then Walmart also has other brands that are there. But like a Walmart sock or like your convenient, whatever store you shop at, most of the socks are going to be good quality. Just check the polyester count on them. But you can get loads of polyester socks that are working great. So like I would go that route. Okay, you remind me of Monkey Prince when you remember Monkey Prince. Yeah, I remember Monkey Prince. Impossible. I talked about Reyes pushing them at the beginning, pushing a product that was kind of junk because it wasn't researched. The big thing with me, why I don't take, hey, BM Pam, why I don't publish, like sell a lot of my stuff right away, where I've had a direct film printer literally got here in January, 6 months already, and I'm not selling prints. And even the other process, like how super color's done, I'm big at researching the stuff, doing my own test on things before I release it to what I'd call the public or the other people. I want to know all the pluses, minuses, the errors that it can have with it. So I'm big on doing my own research and testing before I will sell things. Some people aren't. Some people are fine with just getting it and running with it. The downside is, like I said, a good example. And right here, this lady that made these transfers that I did the review. As you can see, thin white, not a major problem, but not the best. She came out with it. She bought a machine and didn't know much about it. And she sold them. And then I did the review, and they were getting dye migration on a shirt that shouldn't show dye migration because it was 100% cotton. She didn't do the test on understanding the inks, kind of like what I was saying here, understanding how the ink works. And she was already selling them to the public. Well, the problem is I paid for the sample, and I didn't care. I was doing it as a sample. But if I was doing, let's say, 100 shirts and they all came out like that, I'd be pretty ticked off. And then I'd have left the company a really bad review. Talked to her. She worked on it, said she got it fixed. I never got any more samples to try. But that's the thing why I'm always big at doing my own tests and research on a product. If I'm going to put my name on it or put my brand behind it, is I want to make sure it's right. I literally got boxer briefs everywhere around here. We do have them on the website, but I went through to make sure I got a style that I like, even fit and comfortable. Like, just because you have a product, if it doesn't fit right, if the cut's not right, if size ain't right, it doesn't help. So I'm big at making sure I get everything. I'm a little like overdone about it, but to me, it's really big to make sure I get it right, because if you miss out on it, you're going to lose customers when your product comes back bad. So it's better to get it right, spend that little extra time. I will have to slide the tumblers over because the mug press isn't long enough. Will that cause burning in the section that may get pressed twice, if that makes sense? Yeah, it can, Patty. That's why I was saying earlier, because if it cooled off in between, it would be fine. The problem too, if you're going to sit there and let it cool down and then put it back in and then do it again, I wouldn't suggest doing that. What I would end up doing, literally, some of these, like when I bought that convection oven I have in there, it's less than $50. I would probably just buy a cheap convection oven. You can get them as low as $30. I've seen them at like Goodwill for like $10. Just get a convection oven and just use it for that, because that is cheaper and they work better and it's quicker. You're going to get better results with that. You're not going to have to rotate it, slide it, and you're going to like the results. When you run into the moving it and all that stuff, you can run into issues, like I said, of ghosting the image, overheating and burning the image. The other thing too, when you get a tumbler too hot, watch Juan's video today, guys, that he dropped today. Juan burnt 25 tumblers on the giveaway. Lily's got extra crispy, like bacon, but I like crispy bacon. Nothing wrong with it. But literally, it was just a thing where the time went longer. And what happens on a tumbler, your colors start removing out of the material. It doesn't get darker. It goes like a curve, and it starts dropping a color off. So it's one of them things that it can happen. So if you were doing that on there, what's going to happen too on that overlap section where it's seeing twice the heat, it could darken that area and be lighter. So you could have like an array of color fading or shifting over that gambit, because it would be going like brighter than lighter. So I would kind of suggest, 24. Sorry, Juan. I did watch the video, Juan. Like I said, 24 minutes in, guys. You'll see one of the best tumblers. It's my name on it. And then Lily's is right after that. Right around, I think, 25-minute mark, 26. But yeah, that's what I would suggest, Patty, is I wouldn't suggest doing that. Even though you've got that, you can give it a shot. So even if the tumbler mess up, you might be out $7-8. If you feel comfortable doing it that way, if it works, great. But that's a lot of movement to try to make sure, because then you got to rotate it all the way over 180 degrees also where the seam's at to make sure that you get coverage over there too. So then you're going to actually be rotating that tumbler 4 times. That's a lot. And they're all going to be in that time range for the cure time of that tumbler. So you're going to be in there a lot more time than if it would just go with a convection oven. How do you promote socks to sport teams and personal name images? On that, what I do is literally like we do the school stuff anyways, all their athletic program stuff. And so usually when we got a new product, we'll go up to either the coaches, the athletic department, the booster clubs, because the booster clubs are the ones that's funding a lot of the other things. And then the parents on the teams, them are the ones that are paying for everything. So when you're going to some of that stuff, they want their kid's name on everything. We sell air fresheners. And literally, that's one of the biggest things is sport air fresheners. You put a photo of their kid holding a basketball, and now they've got an air freshener that they're going to have in their car with their kid on it that they couldn't get anywhere else. So it's just going that route. Make some samples. You're going to be out a little money, but make a sample of the sock if you're already working with them, doing their shirts. Be like, hey, man, here's some socks you guys can have. Give them some socks with the team logo and maybe a number or say coach on the side. And catch their attention, because like once you do, they'll see that, or they'll be like, hey, they might not buy that right away, but they might buy it for themselves. Or like I said, I do stuff for other organizations and groups. And we did stuff for the bike clubs, and literally they were like, hey, we want a custom sock. And it was just a guy that wears crazy socks. So he created a bunch of crazy socks, and we kind of went with it that way. Walmart, try roses or stands, marketplace on gear. Testing right on. Yeah, testing's the number one thing. Customers are always right when they're wrong. Kind of reading down everything, guys. Sorry, I'm a little slow. I'm dyslexic, so bear with me. Customers are always right when they're wrong. That is true. You have to kind of suck up your pride sometimes. I mean, we don't like, I'm like, if it's way wrong, I'm not going to be like, but like in general, kind of you bite your lip and try to make it right with them, especially if it's a big customer. Like we did some stuff the other day. Literally, they gave us a 10X shirt, which I have some large shirts, as everyone knows. They brought me a 10X. It had no tags in it, no seam, and then the seam was like off half an inch off the center. When they brought me, I'm like, hey, where do you want this? He's like, in the back, and we're printing the same logo. It was off just a little bit, and they were mad about it. The thing is, no matter what size platen I got, when I'm laying a shower curtain on there, even when you fold it in half, because what it is they're looking at that seam that's not centered. So they're like, hey, why didn't you go off of there? And the person's so big, the shirt can shift a little bit. They were fine with it, but they complained about it. So what we ended up doing, we're like, hey, bring us another shirt. We'll print it, because they knew we have a thing about it. But literally, when we showed them, folded it in half, it was right on, but to them it looked off. And then their image is off-centered a little bit. So sometimes you got to work with it. And we've had some that were slanted just a little bit when you get that big. And if they're upset about it, you work with it. You make right, reprint it, do what you can. Because in general, like I said, once you make them happy, this is one of the customers, they order all the time from us. They order between 300 to 500 shirts all the time. So you don't want to lose customers. So if you can, you want to try to retain them customers by working with them, even if it's a little thing where it really wasn't your fault. You kind of bite the bullet to make it right, to keep that customer. The whole time I was watching this video, I was saying to myself that there were too many tumblers in the oven. Yeah, Pam, I mean, Juan went for it. Juan did the 24. I was kind of thinking it the same thing, just for the simple fact. I always I don't like peeling them off when they're cool, because I don't use the wire method or the leather method. And so to me, when I run into that problem, it's better for me to do them hot. So I would rather it takes a little bit more time if I'm doing it myself. I've got people If I bring the other 2 guys in the shop over and we're running them, yeah, I'm going to dump as many as I can in and just have them work their butt off. But if it's just me by myself, like tonight when I'm going to do a video on these ones again, I'm only going to put one in at a time. It's just me. I'm not in a rush. And that little bit of time will save them from getting messed up. It doesn't mean it won't get messed up. I am going to do the video tonight, use one of the other methods. So it will be a thing that could ruin them. But yeah, it's one of them things. Just take your time, work with it. I just seen another one. Leonardo, where do you get your air fresheners from? I have them special made. We saw them on our website. It's pretty much all I can say. It's one of them things, Leonardo, where I've worked with a lot of different vendors from me being around the world, and I just found a vendor that works great. So they work good for me, and they kind of take care of me. It's one of them things you're not going to, where a lot of people, like, for instance, tumblers, you can go online, you can find China, find loads of them. Something like the air fresheners, it's not going to be that easy. You can find stuff over there. They're not going to be the right thing, not going to be the right thickness, not going to be the right material sometimes. So some things are harder to get. So I'm not going to disclose my reps, and they're custom made for me. I buy it by the ton of material. That's just how it works when you're buying that material. So it kind of works. Leonardo, what is in the bookcase? Oh, okay. I need to get a few tests then and stock big. Tacoma, can you post some examples of how you promote air fresheners? I think you're awesome, dude. Thanks so much. I will. 1 second. Let me try to get caught up. Texas Q. I have a scenario. If you give me your thought and what would you do? Okay, yeah, Texas. Give me that. Fire away. Have you ever fired a customer or potential customer? If yes, why? What's up, Goon Life? Have I ever let a customer go? Yes. We had a customer that eventually, they were a customer that was buying, their sales kept going down, and they were getting more and more picky. And what it was is they were just trying to, like, literally we dropped the shirts off, we counted with them, and then like a week later, they're like, hey, it's shorter shirt, which is fine. We'll try to make up. But like when we count with you, what it is the customer ended up getting a product and then couldn't sell it after. We also talked to them beforehand, because I don't mind if you come to me with, I wouldn't say a dumb idea, but if you come to me and you're like, hey, I want this item on a shirt, and I'm like, okay, I'll try to put it on there. If you come to me like, I need 10,000, I'll be like, okay, well, I'm one of the people that can talk a little bit, as you know. So I'm going to talk to you, like, hey, what kind of business here? And if you're like, hey, this is my first thing, this is my first idea, I'm not necessarily going to tell you don't do that, because I do want to print your stuff, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be like, hey, are you sure you want to buy, let's say, 10,000 of that shirt with this on there? Do you already have them sold? Do you already have a market for them? It's not that I'm trying to deter you, but the problem is if you buy that and it flops miserably, for one, and on something like that, I'm going to get paid up front. But I've got some vendors that are net 30, net 60, net 90s. But some customers will buy a product that flops. But literally the customer, what it was is just kept making bad decisions and trying to find ways to not have to pay. And so finally, literally what I ended up doing is every time they would reorder something, we would keep going up on price, because it wasn't worth the headache to deal with them. So I really didn't let them go. I just outpriced it so that they would stop using us. And I will say this, they have came back even since then. So did it really work? It pushed them away for 6-7 months. But we're going to continue to go up. It's not that it's a customer that's not worth the headache, but we pretty much said it as plain as we can. Hey, we really don't want to print the stuff, without saying it that way. So what we do is, like I said, we're way overpriced. We're $15 on 100 plus one color shirt prints. Insane profit on that. But they keep coming back. So, I mean, if they're willing to pay that, I will bite my tongue on that. But I did it that way pretty much to push them away and to have them maybe go elsewhere. It's just, they still keep coming back. A customer bought me their shirts, wanted turquoise, and showed them something that looks green and light blue, but the light blue I have is not turquoise. So they said they want turquoise, customer disapproved. So what I would do on that, like what happens on that Texas Q is you like if they want it turquoise and it's not a color, if it's a stock color that you can buy from one of your vendors, order it in if it's going to be worth it to you, because you can always reuse ink. I mean, you guys see my shop, I've got tons of ink, rooms of ink. But so I'm big on that. Is like I'll try to match. I've got a Pantone match system. If they got to have a Pantone color, charge them a Pantone mixing fee. Charge them the cost for that whole quart of ink. And they don't get to keep it, but that's kind of their special color mix. And that might deter them, or they might be like, because some companies got to have it. We do have some companies. We deal with hospitals and all that. We got to hit their colors. They pay for it, but we got to hit their colors. So what you can do is literally charge them for the color match to hit that color. Not everyone's going to want to do that. They're going to, and like if you only, let's say you're just starting out, you only got 5 colors. See if you can mix a color to get it close for them. If you can't and you don't want to buy it, just tell them, hey, this is the closest we can do. If the color don't work, sorry, we can't do the job for you. Because most companies, when they come in and say red, blue, yellow, whatever, you're going to use your standard colors and they're going to be fine. They're going to know what it's like. You might have some, like I said, we do schools, and schools can be a little picky on it. Some, like we've got some that are maroon. And maroon's an ugly color on a t-shirt color. I don't like it personally. And colors don't go good. Maroon bleeds really bad, but they got to go with that. And so some of the colors got to be that if we're not printing it on a maroon shirt even. So you just got to work with them. If they don't like it, just tell them, hey, we can't do it, and they'll move on. How much is kid? What does you do as a business? How much shaving fund is a key part of what you do as business? Would you replace the whole T-shirt, or would you refund? I gave them the option, and customer has not replied. Any suggestions? Yeah, what I do, Texas Q, is like on something like that, we tell them too, though, if they bring me the shirts, we have a 10% failure rate that we have them sign before they even purchase it. I don't like printing on people's products. The problem is if I mess something I'm printing on, like a Gildan, I can order it. I know where to get it from. I know the price of it. I know what quality one that came in. So if I messed it up, I can send it right out. No problem, and get another one to fix it. If I'm printing on one that they brought me, I get people that get second, third shirts where like the arm sleeves are way off and they're junk. And then they're going to tell you, oh, it was a $50 T-shirt or something like that. And they might have a sticker on it that says that, but it's a lot harder. But on my paper, it says literally, if you're bringing us supplies, we can damage up to 10%. We're not responsible. So by them signing that, like if we do mess up a print, we let them know. Now, we'll try to work with them if they do that. We're not just going to be totally, hey, here's our paper. You agreed to it. Like, we'll try to work with them. Sometimes, too, they're like, hey, that's fine, and they'll bring an extra shirt for it. But we kind of go at it that way about that problem and that colors. Pam, I have a customer that keeps coming to me with the adult small shirt saying they want a youth small. I showed them the youth small, but they still can't convince that. Yeah. That's the thing, Pam. Literally, that was one of the issues I had the other day. The adult small and it was a youth large. But them two shirts are literally, there's depending on the brand, especially like, because we went with the Gildan on one and I'm trying to think of the next level on the other. They were identical. And so we were trying to show them and they didn't like it. The youth small thing though, too, some people they don't want to admit they're wrong. And then like some of the times it's like, you just got to tell them, I'm sorry, it is what the label says what it is, or show them the invoice. That's what I had to do the last time is I keep all the invoices from my salespeople. I'm like, look, it said adult small. This is what they shipped me. I'm sorry. That's all I can really tell you. Or what I can do too is sometimes if it's a customer that's been coming to me a lot, I'll order another one in and I'll show them, be like, look, this is what I ordered in. I'm going to order it specifically for you. Order it in and show them. Because like some of your vendors, like for instance, my TSC Apparel, shout out to them guys. A lot of times, like let's say I ordered all my shirts this week and something happened, I need one. A lot of times my rep, which I just got a new rep now, so we're gonna see how my new rep works because TSC goes through reps like Juan goes through tumblers, quite a bit. No, but my new rep will sell. Works for my old rep. Literally, if I needed something, they would comp the shipping. So they would ship me one shirt, two shirts, whatever, and I not have to pay the shipping. It was like if I got my $200 order on the shipping. So some of your reps will. Some of you guys live close to the wholesale places, so you can go pick them up. But if that's the case and you can get a shirt in, then you can be like, look, here's the same size. Here's the voucher to show what I ordered. You see me order it. And sometimes it will just shut them up. Sometimes they're still going to argue, and it's just like all you can do is be like, I'm sorry, you can go somewhere else. Like you're never going to keep every customer. I've had customers that I've been with 10 plus years, and I've lost them. I've had customers that's been with me since I've been started over 15 years ago. They're still with me. Some will stay. So I have some that literally price shop. They've been with me 12, 13 years, and they're on and off them whole 12, 13 years. What they're doing, they're going to different places every time they do an order and price shopping it out. And I know that because some of the other shops are calling me, hey, I got your artwork here, or here's what they brought me. This was the one you printed last time. And it's just they're price matching, trying to get the best price. So sometimes, and you're going to lose them that way. I mean, it's not worth me to drop my price because they're just going to keep doing that. Some people just want the cheapest price. So, and they don't care about the quality, which a lot of people are like that. Some people do care. But when you get the people that are only worried about the bottom dollar, sometimes it's not worth it because they're going to have tighter deadlines. They're going to argue with you on little things. So I just kind of lock my prices in and run with it. Awesome, dude. Honesty is the best policy. Sleep at night. Yep. B and Pam, don't forget, customer is always right. Yeah, hey guys, watch Goon Life's video on that stuff. If you're not subscribed to Goon Life, guys, subscribe. Goon Life's got a few videos, like the church pew guy that he offered him free shirts if he could prove that he was wrong. And the guy he came back. He's in the other video, guys. It's probably last week, the week before video. The guy came back, but he couldn't prove him wrong. And he bought more shirts. So customers will come back, guys. You're going to have good ones. You're going to have bad ones. You're going to have people that leave you negative reviews. You're going to have people that leave great reviews. It's just part of it. You want to get more positives than negatives, but you're never going to get rid of some of the negative views. I mean, you're going to have someone that's going to find something wrong just because that's how they are. They're Karens all day long. So you got to just deal with some of it sometimes and move on. Some other ones aren't as bad. Maroon and silver, maroon and yellow, maroon and white. Yeah, like Goon Life does a lot of maroon stuff. Like I said, we have a school here that has it. And maroon, like that was one thing, like when I first started a long time ago, that was one of my big things I learned is with maroon, like I didn't know about dye migration or anything when I first started. I didn't know you had like polyester inks and all that. And they were running a 50-50 blend maroon color, and I ran it my normal white. It was not poly white. It wasn't a low bleed white. It was just white because I first started, didn't know the difference. Ran it through the dryer, and I noticed a little color. I'm like, maybe it's just me. It's fine. Literally, they brought them back the end of that week where all the parents washed them and all that, and that white was pink. And I learned right away that it sucked. I had to eat the cost on them. And I was like, called my ink vendor. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, yeah, you don't use just normal white. And it was one of the things, it was back before YouTube was around. So I couldn't YouTube it. I couldn't Google it. It was when the internet was a lot slower. So I learned the hard way on that. And I ate some money on shirts. So, I mean, it will happen. You just run with the punches. We still print for them people up till this day. They were fine. I refixed the problem out of my own pocket. And we're still good. Customer relations on that work great. But some people wouldn't come back if that did happen. It's just lucky they worked with me, and we continue to work good after that. How much is having fun important in what you're doing? Do you try to steer your crews towards great artwork that will sell? Goon Life says TSC is 10 minutes from him. Yeah, and that's nice. If you got the shop 10 minutes, then you can go pick stuff up. Every shop I have to have shipped. I mean, I could drive, but we're talking 2-3 hours. I'm not going to drive 2-3 hours to pick up a shirt. So I'm going to pay the shipping, but I get it next day all the time. So important is fun. You don't want to make people feel like it's a slave. You got to get, at the end of the day, though, you got to get jobs done. But if you enjoy your job and you look forward to going to work, it's not as bad as something. I've done jobs because I've got an engineering background. I've done jobs that I hated. I hated going to work. It was miserable. Luckily, some of them companies went under. Some of them moved out. But like, if you don't enjoy your job, you're not enjoying. It's gonna affect you after. You're gonna be miserable after it. If you don't mind your job, don't mind the people you work with. At the end of the day, you still got to work. So I mean, some days aren't going to be as good as others. But if it's enjoyable and if it's something you can live with and get by with, like, I'm not out there doing counts on the shirts. I'm not. I mean, I do look at the count, but I'm not like, hey, we could have ran 100 extra shirts today. You guys slacked off. Maybe something happened because my shop, I am not in my shop half the time when they're running stuff. So, I mean, we do have a camera setup system. If I really wanted to watch in on them, I take their word. I trust them. I do have people that go in there, monitor it, and help out on other stuff. But it's one of the things is make people feel that they're important. You can't always give someone the highest pay. You can't pay someone $60 an hour to load shirts, but make them feel appreciated. So occasionally take them food, take them donuts. Donuts rock. Rise case, send them cupcakes or chocolate cake. But just make people feel appreciated. That always helps. If they need a day off or whatever, try to work with them if you can, because when people feel appreciated, they're going to stay there. I've worked at places where I could have made more money, but I stayed because I liked the work environment and I was content with the money I was making for what I was doing. I knew it wasn't too stressful. So always look at it that way. That will kind of definitely help you out on that. Do you steer customers towards better artwork designs that will look more professional? Honestly, depends on what it is. Some of my people that come in, they already have the artwork. Like a lot of my major people we deal with some big name companies, so they already have the artwork. We deal with like RC Components. Their artwork, they already have it. Their logos are already pre-made. It's got to be to that. It's got to be certain colors. They already have it. So on that stuff, literally, they bring the artwork and we just run the stuff. When you're starting out, like for instance, the volleyball teams, the baseball teams, they're going to have their school logo, but they're going to be kind of open-minded even on color selections. Like if you're like, hey, we can do that in a one-color print. Instead of having 3 colors on that logo, we're going to have to do it like a black and white and just drop out the other color. You got to work with them on some, and like, but you got to remember too, at the end of the day, if I spent 6 hours designing a shirt and I'm only got 20 shirts in that order, I didn't make money. So you kind of, I wouldn't say go clip art all the way, but we use a lot of clip art stuff. We bought clip art files and bundles, and we offer them to the customers. If you want more custom, you've got to pay it. We're going to give you about an hour's worth of design time, making sure the colors match, the logos match what you want. But anything past that, you're going to have to pay for more time. It's just part of it, because at the end of the day, that's why we shut down our major storefront, the walk-in traffic. We don't deal that way with people anymore because of that. Because what would happen, someone would come in and you'd spend like 2 to 3 hours getting everything right, and then they buy or want only to buy 10 shirts when it's all said and done. So when you take out your time out of that you spent designing that, now that's got to go into the cost of that shirt. So you're either going to have to way overprice that shirt, or you're going to have to eat the cost of your time that you sat there designing it. And so sometimes it's not worth it. So factor that in when you're designing things. And the other thing too, like for a good example, this is a good friend that I made this for, so I don't have to worry about, I'm giving him the tumbler, but it's a Chevy logo with the flag with the Chevelle SS on it. Literally, he was like, hey man, I want a flag, I want the Chevy logo, and I want a Chevelle thing on it. So literally, he sent me a photo of things he liked and wanted. It had a flag, it had a Chevy logo. He didn't have a Chevelle on there. He was like, can you put that on there? So we did that. Or I did that, because I designed it. But a lot of customers know what they want, so have them do the work for you. Don't do the work. Have them do it for you. Be like, hey, what do you want? What do you like to see on there? Send me some examples. And then you're going to get a exact kind of what they're envisioning, what they want to see. So then you know where to even start from. So you can be like, okay, we can get done this way. Bring up the color things. Hey, it's going to cost more for more colors, because at the end of the day, if they're on a budget for, let's say, a $5 to $8 shirt, and they brought you artwork that's in the $10 to $15 range, you're never gonna hit it. So be honest and be like, hey, if you want a shirt, what's your price range? If they give you, let's say, $8 to $9, be like, hey, I can do this many colors for that price for that many shirts, and then go from there. That's what I would do. What's up, Cisco? How's it going? Goon Life's about to go live. Everyone goes live, Rye, when I'm on, so it's all good. Goon Life's my homie, though. Guys, your stuff, I will ship it out. Goon Life's package is scheduled to be here when I was checking, I think Wednesday. So what I will do, guys, can't guarantee I'll get everyone's out by the end of next week, but I will get them out within timely manner, guys. Once I get it in here. We ran into shipping issues getting everything here, guys. But it's on its way. Thanks a lot, Goon Life. Like I said, guys, go check out his channel. Go check out Rye's channel. Go check out Juan's channel if you're not subscribed. Bunch of great guys. If we all drop our prices and nobody makes any money. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm low on some things, but I'm not the lowest on everything. Because the reason is it doesn't always pay to be the lowest. I mean, if you're the lowest, that means you got to skimp on other things. So either you're going to have to skimp on your employee pay. Employees aren't going to be happy sometimes. You're not going to get good quality workers in. If you skimp on other things, like, it's all going to balance out. So, like, I give the customer a great product for a good product for a good price. At best I can do. Could I do a little bit more? Yeah, there's margins in there, but I'm not going to come out the gates and be like, here's the lowest I can do for you, because we have a set chart that we use and we go off of that. If it's a repeat customer, if it's someone that's, hey, they're trying to do something, I feel like it'd help benefit them and it would benefit me, I might give them a little bit better deal. During downtime, or what I call downtime, slow times, like in the summer where you got some voids and all that, where you're not doing much, we're going to run deals. We're going to run like $5 for 50 shirts. And we're going to run one, and that's one color print. We're going to run a bunch of sales in the slower time just to make sure we get work coming in, and go at it that way. So that's kind of how we run the things. And like I said, so you might be giving them a better deal at that time. I'm not always going to run that shirt price for that low, but when we're trying, what it is, I want to keep my machines running every day. My machines aren't running, I'm not making money. And I'm paying people to be in that shop and not to sweep a broom, because I don't want to pay that price for someone to sweep a broom. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure that machine's up and running. It's fine to have downtime. It's fine to have maintenance, but you want to keep things moving. You want to keep a steady flow. If you're doing it by yourself, it's fine. You want to make sure you're staying busy. You want money to come in. You want to know that you're going to have your next meal so you can get some more donuts if you'd like. Good advice, man. I know I subscribe to your channel for a rest. Thank you so much for subscribing. Who won? Lily says. Lily, you already got a shirt coming, Lily. Ronnie says, I want a case of tumblers. I guess you want it from someone else, Ronnie, because I didn't give out a case of tumblers. So. But congratulations on your win, Ronnie. Customers think any art they give you is print ready. That's another thing. Me and Pam just hit the nail on the hammer on the nail, or whatever. Sorry, I'm bad at some of the whatever you call them. I do. Yeah, Lily, I'll get your shirt out. I got your email still, Lily, I believe, or your address. Just resend it to me, Lily, and your size, so I don't forget. But I know I got it. My mind isn't always there some days. But yeah, like you'll have a customer come in and they will bring you something literally that was sketched, or like trying to find. I know I got some laying around here. I'm trying to think what I can show. Literally, they will sketch something, or like a good example, they'll send something like they'll bring you something in and they'll be like, "Oh, it's ready." Well, that bananas and pickle logo, you could print it. This quality that I put onto here, I just made it smaller so they would fit. But I use a low res photo because I knew you're not going to pick up the detail as you would on the bigger one. So like people will bring you stuff, what I call perfect. Here we go. They'll send you bar napkin quality. They'll be like, here's my artwork. And they'll bring it on literally something like this. And they're like, yeah, this is a full color banana, which knowing it's black and white. And they'll be like, oh, it's ready to go. It's all good to go. And they'll have it like not scanned in. They'll send you a JPEG and it's going to be like 100 by 100 if you're lucky. And then they're going to be like, oh, it's good to go. And then you're like, no, it's not. And you've got to explain to people. And like I say it usually to people that I know and all that. And I try not to be mean to people when I say it, but it's like this: crap in, crap out. If you give me crap, I can only polish a turd so much. It's still a turd. It's not going to look good. It's crap in, crap out. The quality of the artwork will reflect the quality of the print and the quality that comes out. If you want grade A, you send grade A material in, or you work on it that way. But not everyone understands that. And that's the thing too, where if you've done it enough, you can kind of understand them and work with them. A good example, I worked in the tattoo industry quite a few years. And we print lots of tattoo shirts. Tattoo artists are great artists. The problem is now a lot of them are using Procreate and all that. Back in the day when they first started, literally they're sketching on sketch pads. Well, the problem is that they're drawing halftone images with shades of gray. And then the only way they're even sending it to me, scanning it in, and they're drawing it on like an 8.5 by 11 or even a smaller sketch pad. Or they're bringing me sketches that they use through transparency transfers that are very low quality images. And they're like, hey, I want to put this on a shirt. And I'm like, I need a computer ready file. I can get it there, but some things are going to be lost in translation. Some of the gradients that you put, you're not going to be able to print them gradients. So you've got to explain to that customer that. And like I was saying too about time is money, you got to explain to them in a timely manner that you're not taking up 2 hours of your time and they might not even order with you. So you've got to kind of get it across and be like, hey, that's not, here's what we need. If you want me to get it into that file format, you might have to pay. And like, it's one of them things. If you just want to get them over with really quick, be like, hey, if you need it computer ready, it's going to cost this much. We've got your artwork here, but if you want me to print it where I can actually print it, and you don't have the file, I'm going to have to charge you this much. Goonlife's a good example. He did that on the one thing, and you tell them, hey, we'll sell you the artwork and all that and take care of it for you. And you can do it that way. And that's one of the things too, is if that works for you, run with it. Because sometimes it does. But like I said, it's just one of the things. Some people will be like, well, I don't want to pay to have it digitized. Like a good example, embroidery. I don't want to pay to have it digitized. I don't want to pay to have it done this or that. And at the end of the day, though, someone's got to pay. So are you not valuing your time and you're going to take it out of your time of value and money, or are you going to make the customer pay? So sometimes you do have to have that meet the cost. A good example, when you run lasers, if you're doing solid imaging on that where you're doing the cutouts, it's got to be vector. If you're doing the other one, it's a PNG will work fine, but your artwork's got to be ready for what you're doing on the lasering. And we did loads of lasering. I've showed you guys a bunch of the stuff before that, like even the records and all that I did. But that's one of the things too. If it's not ready to be, ran that way, it's going to take time, and then you're the one paying out of your own pocket for it. Because like I said, someone's got to have to pay, and you don't want to be the one that has to pay. And like I said, so it's better and some of it too is, like I said, if you're honest with the customer up front, some of them guys are going to understand that. You are going to have some people that are going to nitpick and not want to pay, and just be honest with them. Be like, hey, this ain't ready. I mean, we can print that, have them sign an agreement and be like, this is what it's going to look like. It's not going to look good. Some people are fine with it. A good example, Danny will tell you, Good Life. He did the one on the one video, and it was a low quality image they sent them. But that's what the guy sent him. And it's kind of one of the things, crap in, crap out. You can only make it look so good. So sometimes, hey, Mira, how's it going? Thank you, Lily. I did get the number. Price, quantity, service. Can you provide all three? Only 2 out of 3. What are the 2 most important to you? Yeah, like me and Pam said, literally received on a napkin. You don't know how many napkin drawings I've gotten. And people's like, man, I want it on a shirt. It's going to look great. And the napkin looks horrible to begin with. And they really think it's, and like, you got to explain to them. And then too, it's like, oh, I got this font picked out. You're like, what is it? Well, it's in my head. Well, that doesn't help. And I've got over 1,000 fonts. One thing I will tell you guys to do is what I usually tell them when they're like, hey, I want a font. I like, go to defont.com and find a font. Let me know which one it is and let them pick it out. So you don't have to sit there and argue with them. If this is the right one, that's the right one, because font picking alone can take forever to get right and find the ones they want. Hey, Linda. When we receive files or images that are not ready, we explain to the customer it will need to be digitized, which is an additional charge, and they will own the file. Our customers agree every time. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you just got to be honest with them. Tell them. Most people are acceptable of that. The ones that aren't are the ones that you got to, I wouldn't say worry about anyways, but they're the ones that are more questionable customers anyways, I would say, that you've got to sit there and say, hey, is it really worth this customer? Is it a good deal to go with that one? I mean, because like I said, some of them are fine and content. Other ones, if they're that picky and they're not going to get you that want to pay that, they're going to be nickel and diamond on everything. Artworks always has customers sign off. Yeah, I always have them sign off on the artwork, approve it, because like I said, at the end of the day, if they signed off it and it is an argument, if it had to go to court, you sign off, you at least got it covered there. Where if you don't, you're kind of hoping that you can kind of backtrack and get it taken care of. I heard that you're giving away your vendors. Send it, please. What vendors you need, Rye? I'll try to send you some vendors, Rye. We all have companies that digitize for us for $10. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like on the digitizing. I mean, you can upcharge that and make some money with it. I just got back from Mexico. Cool. Literally, like I've got he's in Brazil, but I've got a friend in Brazil. Man, I can't think of his name. He's not taking any more digitizers on right now, or people on it as of right now. But one of the best digitizers I use is like $5-10 for anything I send him. And so what you can do too is you can just upcharge, like if you want to upcharge the customer for that time that you're wasting, and be like, hey, it's going to cost you $15, so you're making $5 off the time that you're going to wait, because most of them are fine. And then just tell them this: hey, once we have it digitized, you don't have to pay it again unless you want it scaled up, scaled down, or changed. Because on a digitizing file, it's not like a screen print file that you can expand it and change it. On a thread file, you're screwed if you've got to move it. So it's kind of can be one of them fun things. Here was a fun shirt, guys. Let me see if I can get it to. This was the shirt we did for a hardwood company. So that's the white coat, half-toned. This is the black over top, where we were just lining the thing up. And then let me find the finished one. And this is the finished. Sorry, I can't turn the phone. But there's wood grain in all them panels because I actually did wood flooring. That was one of the more, they were cheap on colors. So they didn't want to spend like, it should have been 6-color job. I think we did it with 3 or 4 colors. It just took a little bit more time to get it right. Sometimes you get customers that are paying and are willing to pay it. Other customers, they want kind of the high-end look, but they don't want to pay the high-end price. We got one customer that sells shirts for $25 a pop, and literally the most colors he uses is 2 color on the shirt, and he has us half-tone them nonstop because he's kind of cheap on it. Oh, my cookie vendors. Yeah, there's some good cookie places. Here was another one, guys, that we did for the hospital. It was kind of cool when we do their heart walk and all that stuff every year. Avenge heart disease, 1 heart at a time. Get to work, Rye. Yeah, I know Rye should have like 100 jobs to be doing right now. Yeah. How many samples should I show the customers for them to choose the print they want? I normally do, if it's like the artwork, I will normally do 2 or 3 and let them choose. And then when they select that, we give them 1 rendering usually after that to make sure it's right. Like if they wanted something from this one, something from that one. But any more than that, we start charging them just because time is money. And like here's another one, guys. It's hard to see it. The Not Today. It's a lion. You can watch the video I show you guys. This is a CMYK process right here. This one, we literally CMYK'd. I did the video on it. It used to be one of my more popular videos, but I did the whole CMYK print instead of using Pantones or spot color on it to get all them colors with just, here's the finished one. That's just with 5 colors because it has a white underbase. So you can get some things done by manipulating colors and all that. Get that Tajima working, Rye. I believe he does have it working, Lily. He just needs he needs that other one. Digitizing is a monster of its own. Converting artwork to vector or digitizing artwork is a separate paid service I offer. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like you almost got to tell them that because people come in thinking like it's ready artwork. What they sent you is good to go. And the problem is it's usually not. And then what happens, like I said, it ends up being very low quality or it's not going to be print. Like a good example of these, I made these and it's a quick throw thing, but like I just grabbed teddy bears. Well, if you look, you can see the background difference. It's got a gray instead of a white. Now I could have went and deleted it, but I was lazy. I could have grabbed a different background. I was lazy. And I didn't trim them perfectly square. I was lazy. So, and that's where it shows. And so it's like one of these things. I mean, it goes to the crap in, crap out. Most people probably pull this off, never read it anyways. So they probably don't even notice the difference. But if you want to be really picky, or even how I cut them, I cut it with the scissors instead of my cutters. I should have just laid the cutter down and ran them that way. But you will do stuff like that sometimes. Most people don't care. But remember, it's your name on the line every time that you make a product. So just remember that people are always looking at that because someone might throw that, like take that or give that, for instance, that candy to someone else and they look and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, the label's off. I don't know if I want to buy a product from them because they might just have that thing, not understanding that it was just a freebie. They might think it's the whole thing. So I was trying to find some of the laser stuff we did. Because, like I said, the laser stuff's done the same way. It's got to be vectorized a certain way. And then always charge, guys. Do you remember transparency overlays and graphics art? Yeah. They were horrible. What colors separation software program to use? I just use Photoshop and Illustrator. And do a lot of my own separations. I do have I'm trying to think of the name. Mikey Designs is having one coming out soon also. Matt is from Mikey Designs, so check his out when it gets out. Him and Shannon ran into some issues where Shannon got sick. So once his gets out, his is probably one of the best that I've seen so far. That is pretty impressive. And then another thing, guys, is like, here's another thing. Be creative. You can, which this is going to show the rectangle from the where my phone cropped it. But this was a girl, she lost her life, so overlooked that. But literally, you can create halftones, guys, and give them a photo. Like, they wanted a photo, but they didn't care if it was color or not. So we did that in just two colors. We did it black ink, white underbase, and dropped it on there and was able to print that. And so we were able to give them the photorealistic thing. Because a lot of people, what they would do when they're doing memorial pieces like that, they might do like what I'd call print vinyl. So run it through the printer like the Walmart transfer stuff. And that's fine. But if you're screen printing, like I said, that was done with two colors, white and black. And if it was a white T-shirt, then I could have thrown it all on black and been done. Or vice versa. If it was a black T-shirt, we could have thrown it all on white. It was a purple shirt because that was the little girl's color. So on that, we had to get kind of creative with it. So we went that way with it. But like I said, that's two colors. So it's something that's like can be done fairly simple and you can get some nice work out of it. And like I said, it's still cheaper than me printing the transfers the other way. Because we just screen printed them. Because screen printing ink's cheaper than any other ink out there as of right now. So until then, you're better off going that way. Let's see, I'm finding all my records, but I'm not finding some of my laser stuff. Which I know they're all on here, just... Here's one of my neon sign guys. Neon is horrible, though, in photos. That's actually my company. But that logo, is the whole top is blue, even though that S looks like it's white. That S is blue. It's blue, white, and green. 3 different color neons on the tubes. But neon does not show good in photos, no matter what you do. It just does not come out. So some of the stuff you've got to kind of simulated process. Yeah, I use most of the stuff I'll use simulated process. Like I did the one in CMYK, but I'll use a simulated process on a lot of the stuff. There's the neon where you can kind of see it better, where my thumb's at. It still doesn't show perfect. But like this shirt right here, like this RC Components one, the tire one, that was only done with 2 colors because I didn't want to pay for a gray. So like if you get creative, you can get the colors in there. It's not going to be as good as if you go with more colors. But at the end of the day, the customer's paying. So if they don't want to pay for the extra colors, and you're fine. If you do the sample, you both agree on it and they liked it, it's a win-win because now you're saving yourself time too, especially if you're doing them manually. If you're doing on the auto, it's not as bad because the machine runs it all. Hey, what's up, Mike from Nova Works? How's it going? What happened, Lily? Why the sad face? Lily's got a sad face because somebody burnt a tumbler for her. It's like that extra crispy French fry. Yeah, Lily, yeah, it was sad. it was someone actually local too, so it wasn't far away, but it kind of, like I said, on that shirt we did, I don't like doing memorial pieces because they're always sad. They're not really good, especially when it's a kid. So usually on stuff like that, I mean, I've got to pay my employees, but we normally try to give them the best price possible on things and work with them to get, like that shirt, we had 3-day turnaround time. So it's not always fun. But sometimes they needed them, so we had to get them done. And it was some people we knew, so it was you always try to work with the people, find a way to give them the best product, make them happy, and understand what it's going to. Here's some of the laser stuff we did, guys. These are all on chrome. They're all derby covers. If it focuses. We print or used to laser for a company that made derby covers, so we did all the artwork on their derby covers. Just loads of derby covers. It was a very large motorcycle company. Thanks, Waldo. Really good content. Thank you so much. Follow the videos too if you haven't. Our videos cover a lot of things. I always redo videos over and over. Like I've got, I don't know how many Tumblr videos, but I tend to do the videos just over and over, so people don't always got to look through them. But we do have a lot that we, I wouldn't say redo, but there are some like the CMYK. I only got one video in there just because the videos that I film out of the shop here, it's not on my auto, so, and it's only in my spare time, so I'm not going to bring one of the big jobs here to run it. It'd take me too long, and my arms would be killing me. So I tend to do it the manual on just on the simpler stuff. Here's some more derby covers for some big places. Focus. There we go. But like I said, we do a lot of different stuff. Different plates for different people. Like I said, it's just kind of. And then people ask too about like, I'm out of tumblers as of Thursday. I have 16 in my cart. How many do you need, Pam? We've got more. I've got loads here. So if it's saying they're low, go ahead and order them, Pam. Oh, you need a shipping code. What I'll do, Pam, once I hop off tonight, because tomorrow I can't ship anyways with being Sunday, email me, Pam, and I will send you a code to cover the shipping. Can you do that? Once we hop off here, email me, Pam, and I will send you a code to cover the shipping. Will that work? Another thing, guys, you can do is take your vinyl cutters, and you can cut stickers and screen print the ink like this TFLTs we did. These were just vinyl cut stickers on some reflective chrome that not all machines can print on it as easy and cut it. So we just literally cut them out and then ran them that way. And then here's something when people do talk about cut vinyl and all that. This is one of probably the most tedious cut vinyl jobs I think I ever did. I did it just to show off what we could do. And you see it at the show, the koi fish, that's actually in the shop. That was gold, that was reflective blue, and then that's aqua water, so it changes color. That was all cut, all done on heat transfer. It sucked, but it was back in the day. Just to show, heck, that's showing 2014 on that photo. It's just to show people some of the stuff that could be done. I would never sell it to a customer. It took too long, too much of a nuisance and weeding and all that stuff. And then the different vinyls, because it was like the big flaked gold, the reflective blue, which is a super thin, and then that aqua that literally, even when you press it, it's almost clear, but it gives it that oil slick look. It changes colors. Very pricey vinyls, very time-consuming vinyls to weed. Like the gold was horrible. Had the lint roll the shirt 20 times to get that stuff off. Hit the thumbs up, people, Rye says. Thanks, Rye. But yeah, there's a lot, like literally, like I'm just scrolling through some of this stuff I haven't updated forever. Look, here's the Husky Nation stuff, guys, where I tell you my Husky Nation. There's my Husky Nation shirt, guys, for all you Husky people. That's the shirt that Rye needs right there, the Husky Nation. Thanks, Rye, for stopping in, man. I'm glad you stopped in. Got to go eat these cupcakes. No problem, Rye. I'm glad you stopped in, Rye. Glad to have you on here. Thanks for stopping in, Rye. We finally did hit a few people, so. And here's another thing, guys. I tinker with a lot of things, but this is a bookshelf I'm making. Everyone's seen them everywhere. They're just the hidden bookshelves. Use a magnetic latch. Do that fish shirt. Just change them. Yeah, that fish shirt. Yeah, that was one I did literally for a friend. That man, I love to fish. The MILF one. Literally, someone's like, "Can you make it?" And I threw that was done with the direct to garment. Or I have a direct to garment. We don't do it anymore, but we did lots of direct to garment back in the day. I've done just about every process of printing they're in. Glad you asked about the cupcakes, Pam. Actually, Pam, well, yeah, no, I think he ate the last ones, Pam, because he got more on his last live Thursday, was it? Yeah, Thursday. I sent him more on the live Thursday. I think he said most of them got eaten, but I could be wrong. I'm just glad he ate them, or someone ate them. It's funny when you look online to send people stuff where you think there might be a lot of places around there. Sometimes I'm rotating them. So sometimes there's places everywhere. Other times there's nothing. Kind of like where I'm at. There's not many food places here. There's no Uber Eats or any or DoorDash where I'm at. Luckily, I go out like earlier. I showed Ryan them. I did get me some ice cream earlier. It was only a small though. The donut light was not on. If it would have been Lily, I would have got some donuts. But you just gotta kind of check and see what's what, and trying to find some other stuff. I am very appreciative for everyone stopping in tonight. Also, thank you guys so much. I'm going to. Here's one, Lily. It's kind of cool. We print for American Cancer Society in our state. So the dog ones, they did Bark for Life, is a American Cancer Society thing. So we actually did that one. It was kind of cool one for all you pet lovers out there. By the way, those Amazon frames are okay to work with. Yeah, I was going to say they're not too bad. I mean, the tension, a lot of times you can get some good tension ones. I've had some that weren't up to what I would call what I would like to have on the tension, but especially starting out, because most people don't even use a Newton meter to measure them. They're not bad starting out, Pam. And especially some of the pricing, because a lot of it, like Gold Up, I believe it is, or Gold whatever, they usually send them there. And that company's, they make some decent ones. They're good for the price you pay. Like to me, it's hard to get screens remeshed because there are places near me that remesh, but the cost to ship them there costs more than if I just buy new ones. For the savings that I'm getting on the remeshing. So the only time it's worth it if I'm taking like a truckload and I'm swapping them out right then. But it doesn't always happen that way. There's the dog one right there. American Cancer Society, Bark for Life. That one we printed way back. That was 2017. Like I said, we print a lot of stuff, believe it or not, for I never update this site that I have these photos on, so it's kind of going down memory lane, looking at some of the stuff that we have on there and some of the artwork that we created, kind of thinking back of how I made some of these things. Like some stuff was like just learning how to print back in the day or learning how to get things done. And then other stuff, like here's a cool bookshelf. I don't know if anyone's ever seen any of my bookshelves. This is the first one. The new ones are a lot better as far as like the seams and the joints. This is a bookshelf I made for all you eerie, scary people. That's a coffin bookshelf. Here's the side of it. And there's a better view of it. There's a lamp in the background right where this finger's at. That's actually, we chromed the inside of a bottle and put a lamp in it. Thanks, Lily. Here's the bottles, actually. Here's one lit up and we threw a green light in it. So this is the Jameson bottle with a green light put in it. Chromed out bottle. Where Jameson's green, but we chromed the inside. We did a lot of, I wouldn't say crazy things, but make a lot of different things just for fun. Just to kind of show people what can be done with different things. Coasters are a big thing. Literally, like we did the parting glass and we did Edgar Allan Poe, Quote the Raven, Nevermore. These are actually coasters. Clear coat them after so that you can have coasters. Super cheap items to make and very profitable margins on stuff. That was done with lasers. This is the Edgar Allan Poe trying to remember the quote from the Edgar Allan Poe, but literally Annabelle. It's Annabelle from Edgar Allan Poe. That's a huge poster. It was like 4 foot by something. But what we ended up doing, here's kind of another photo of it sitting there, is what we ended up doing, we put LEDs behind it. So literally you can light it up and change it any color you want. We went with translucent. It was kind of someone was a big Poe fan, so we made that for them. Here's a creative shirt that I designed also. Kind of anyone that likes Edgar Allan Poe. It's his face, and it's super hard to tell. But them are wording all through there. So that is done just with words in halftones. So it's Quote the Raven, Nevermore, that I literally imposed onto the face and removed everything. So it's kind of stuff, like I said, if you just get creative. Like it was super simple to make that because it's done in one color. But it was just, hey, Raquel, good to have you on here. Glad to see you. And then here's like a stone of the Annabelle that we did. This is a granite stone. And so we literally lasered granite and put another Annabelle quote on it. Your mind is the only thing that ever sets you back when you're designing the things, because that's what stops you from coming up with the things. Because, like I said, here's like the Poe one. I'm trying to get a better view of it. This is from the computer when I drew it. But literally, like, there's so many tutorials out there, too, that not just stuff I make, that everyone makes, of, like, how to impose words on people's face. And you can just use that as the thing. And it was just something simple that someone wanted a Poe shirt. I liked Edgar Allan Poe. It was something to make a creative shirt that it's not the same that everyone else has or offers. And so you're able to offer them kind of something unique, something kind of cool and all that. And it works great. So like I said, it's just kind of fun to do. Like I said, it opens your creativeness up. This is me, which I'm sure some of you guys seen it before. This is an 8X shirt. Me in an 8X shirt. There's not enough hours in the day. You must have some awesome time management skills. My life has too many distractions. honestly, Pam, I don't sleep much. The weekends, I'm usually off on weekends. Sometimes I take extra days off. But like tonight, I'll hop off here and I'm actually got other work to do. I'll do a bunch more videos. I'll probably work to about 3 in the morning and then probably get up around 6 or 7 and do some other stuff. Depending on how the weather is, I mean, we'll determine actually if I go out and do some outside work or not. But I just tend to stay productive. I wish I did have a little bit more downtime because it'd be a lot easier. But you just got to find ways. Like, for instance, my desk will never be clean. I find it not pointless to, but I find I'd rather spend my time doing something else than organizing that and not doing something. So I kind of find time. Yeah, Krispy Kreme runs. There you go. I find times that some things are better to spend my time other ways. It's not that I don't clean the desk, but I find use my time wisely. So if I could do something else instead of just sitting here staring at something, moving one thing over to another, then I go at it that way. But like I said, that's like a lot of these things. Like literally, here's a thing when I did embroidery, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have done it, Pam and Lily, where you guys embroider. But like, this is a pocket, but it's a faux pocket. So literally, I drew a cut pattern out and literally just sewed on a pocket. But since it was just a faux pocket anyways, we sewed the top, but we put the seam so it looks just like a real pocket. And then we monogrammed some logos, but we cut fabric out and it was all the same image. So I literally made a template, cut it out. So I had hundreds of them. And that's when the faux pocket was really big, or the embroidery pocket was. So literally we would just embroider that pocket and let it be sewn through and run it that way. It was a kind of simple thing, easy to do. And we did quite a few of them. Like I said, it's just finding some things that work best for you. Here's a photo of anyone that watches Counting Cars. That's Horny Mike. He's a good friend of mine wearing one of my shirts. We've known him forever. That's back in 2013, it says. I've known him. We went to school together up in Michigan, so. But literally, two guys. The other thing, too, just if you don't, like, so I'm looking back at some of the stuff. Some of the stuff, I didn't even have equipment then on some of these things. And literally, we just subbed some of the things out. Like, I looked at, like, some of these earlier signs. I had, like, a banner on here that was, like, a 60-foot banner. And I didn't have a way to print that. So literally what I did is subbed it out to one of them wholesale companies and made a pretty nice profit off of it just by doing that. So like I said, don't always tell the customer no just because you don't have access to that equipment, like stickers and all that. There's a lot of people on here, like G6 Customs. They were on here earlier and all that. Use people like them and just mark it up a little bit. Tell the customer, yeah, we can do stickers. Our turnaround time is this time. Talk to whoever's printing the stickers for you and just be like, hey, we'll take this long to do them, but we can get them done. And kind of you can run things that way, and it kind of works out pretty good. I've done those as patches. Yeah, and that's the thing, Pam. It's like that was like a long time ago when I used to have my machine, but it was super simple and cheap to do. And I mean, it was pretty good money considering how much time and effort I had in it, because it wasn't like once you had that, we only offered like 3 monogram styles that they could pick from to make it quick and easy. We had them pre-cut out, and I mean, we were doing a bunch of them for the schools and all that. And it was so simple, easy money. And like, here's one of the things, like where I was messing around with water slides back in the day, like the little water slide transfers instead of sublimating. You can buy sublimated light covers, but you can also water slide them. So that was a Detroit mustache one. There's a normal mustache, crazy mustache. And these are all light switch covers. And then, of course, Luke Bryant light switch cover. But like I said, sky's the limit on stuff you can do, guys. Like, there's not many parts that you can't put ink on or vinyl or anything. Like here's a shirt we did. I did Sitting Bull, which Sitting Bull is just a cool Indian. And so I put sunglasses on him, but for the center of the sunglasses, I use reflective material. And so they're Sitting Bull sunglasses, and they look like real sunglasses because I've got the chromatic shade or whatever you want to call it on them. It's just have fun with the stuff. And that was done with a halftone print, so you don't really have to go crazy on things. It can be done super simple. That koi fish that I was telling you guys about, here's a better view of it zoomed in. And these photos are old. I mean, this thing's 2013. But like I said, that's when like I was trying vinyl big time and using that as another means. Yeah, Linda, that's what I was saying. That's why I said I knew you were on here. That's why I was telling people, like, hit G6 up. If you guys need stickers and you're starting out, don't tell a customer, no, you can't do it. Call Linda and them up. Man, they're great people. They'll take care of you. They're very learned. I'm bad at some words. They picked up things really quick. They won that printer and plotter, and they're knocking stuff out left and right. So literally, guys, I mean, they're willing to print for people and do stuff. And it's like most people, guys, when they need something, they would rather go to one shop than go to 20 different shops. So like, for instance, I might be cheaper on my banner and my t-shirts, but higher on my stickers. Well, if I'm offering a customer all that stuff, a lot of times they're going to come to me and get everything all at once. So don't be afraid to give them a quote. Like I said, Linda and them I'm sure if you guys call them up, G6 Customs, they're on Instagram, guys, look them up. Send them a message. I'm sure they've got some kind of pricing structure they can give you. Is that correct, Linda? I don't want to be wrong and say that, but I'm sure they have a pricing structure out there, guys. They can give you a pricing structure for like set number stickers, certain sizes, so that you can take that and then take it to, like, when a customer asks you, you can take that and add your percentage on top of that. And then mark it up so that you're coming out ahead. Because like I said, a lot of customers, they don't care who's making it for you. They just care that you're getting it done. Like I said, a good example, people that sell pens along with their stuff. I guarantee you there's very few people in here that print their own pens. It's not worth it. It's easier to send it out to someone and then give the customer a box of pens. So it's the same thing. Use the people that are out there and add that to your list of stuff that you can offer to a customer, because at the end of the day, they're going to be happy when you can do more stuff for them, and they're going to use you on different things. When you first started with sublimation, how long did it take for you to do them with since? The crazy thing, like back in the day, the first things, because this is way before tumblers, like where you're seeing a lot of my stuff that I'm doing. The first stuff that I ever sublimated was coffee cups. Back then, you didn't really have that much sublimatable stuff. So I was really big on doing coffee cups all day long. Ruined a few at the beginning. Once I finally figured out like the temp time, make sure your stuff's up to heat, understanding about it's not going to hit everything. You're going to scrap items. That's like shirts. Finding the right temp on everything for each brand, it does take time. What I found too, if it's something new that I'm doing, I'm a lot of times going to order something extra in, and then I'm going to kind of take notes and write it down and say, okay, this one I subbed at this time. So I'm going to kind of use that as a reference point, and then next time I'm going to do it that time. Or if I was like, hey, it wasn't dark enough, and then I'm going to tweak the time until I get it right, and I'm going to keep my notes there so I have it kind of done that way. I have a friend tells me to focus on a few things instead of trying to buy more equipment and learn to do other projects. That's true. I mean, you want to be good at one thing, but the other thing too, though, it doesn't hurt. Like, for instance, you don't have to buy a printer and plotter to do stickers. You can sub that out. So like if someone calls and is like, hey, we want shirts, can you do, like a good example where we do the school athletic programs, the volleyball ones and the basketball, you're doing like the t-shirts and all that. They're warm-up shirts. Well, a lot of their parents want stickers. So you're going to do that logo and put the kid's number in the sticker and offer it for 10, 15 bucks, a little 3-inch sticker. And most of the time they're going to pay that because you offer a bundle thing with it. But they're going to call and be like, hey, do you guys do stickers also? So if you say no, they might still order the shirts, especially if you've got them under contract. But a lot of times, too, they'll be like, okay. And then they'll be like, well, let me get a price. Well, if they call that sticker company and that sticker company's like, yeah, we do shirts also. A lot of times, because what it is, they've got one person handling their budgets. So it's easier for them to write one check than it is to write 5 different checks, because then it's going to one thing. And so a lot of times they're voted on with the committees, like the booster clubs. So a lot of times they're like, hey, we can get the whole bundle done here for this much. So they're not really, they are searching around for pricing, but a lot of times what they're looking for is someone that they can get everything all at once. So like, just because you don't have the printer, you don't have to go out and get a printer. You can sub stuff out forever. Anymore, I don't print up big banners on my own equipment anymore. I sub the banners out to a company that literally I've got them where I get them. If I order on Monday, I have it by Wednesday. And the price it's more than what I would pay if I'm printing them myself. But when you factor in your time of hemming banners, if you're going to sew them, or if you're using the tape's not cheap. So you got to factor that in. So by the time I run them, I'm still paying a little bit more to have them done, but then I'm freeing up my machine to do other things. So that's a big thing too, is to me, it's worth me having that free time to do other stuff and not have to worry about adjusting the height of the head and worrying about getting a head strike on a banner or having something happen midway through and that banner get messed up. And now I've got to reprint it and now I'm going to lose the money on it compared to, because like the thing with stickers, if you're cutting stickers, you can always save the ones in front or behind the mess up and add just more stickers. On a banner, if you're running a 20-foot banner and you mess up 15 feet in, now you got 15 feet of scrap and you've got to remake the whole banner. Unless it's something that was a 2-part banner, that's going to have to be done that way. But in general, that's junk. So then you're going to have to redo it. So sometimes it's better just to manage your time better of what your output is. That's going to be more productive for you. So if it's more productive for you to actually sub out items, then do that. If it's more productive for you to run it in-house, then do that. Like I said, that's the big thing why we run sales a lot of times on shirts, is because I want to keep my machines running. I'm more profitable making money off the shirts and them running them than I am if I had them do something else. My guys know how to do other things, but I'm not going to have them sit and do tumblers with me all day long. I make more money off of doing the shirts than I would have them doing tumblers. So it's finding what's going to make you the most money and most profitable and focusing on that, but still offering the other things. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to outsource. So that's what I do on other things. If I get behind even on shirts, or like when I got hurt, I used Vega and actually sub shirts out to Vega out in Arizona and had them shipped to me. It was more cost effective for me to do that than it was to even have them subbed out locally. So it's just finding the right means and finding the right way, because when I got hurt too, we were down and we weren't able to run everything on the one machine before I got another machine. So it was either miss the deadline or have someone else do it anyways. And so it was easier to have him do it. We kept the customer. We were still able to make money. And at the end, everyone was happy. I didn't make as much, but I still made money. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah, we have tons of customers, more than we do in-house. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I have a friend tell me, like Mike was saying, NovaWorks, you will find out you have more customers that are not just your in-house customers, your local ones, even from the online. Like, there are more out-of-state people. I ship probably more shirts out of the state than I do in-state printing. It's just from word of mouth and companies we deal with. And so, especially on something like that, they don't know what machine I've got set up to run what. So if I, let's say, ran their banners and had them shipped to me instead of and I can drop ship these banners too, but so depending on what I'm running, I could have it move different ways. They don't care as long as they get their product. At the end of the day, that's all that matters to them. Maria, thanks for the chat. No problem. Hope that does help some. We just did 1,000 4x6 product labels for a customer. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Something like that, like where Mike did that, the 4x6. That's the thing too. Let's say he was running out, like he just got that new printer, and so he's keeping it busy. But on something like that, a label printer that are just made to do the Spencer sensor labels, if let's say he was super busy, he might be better to sub it out to someone that does label printing labels, and that's going to have them on the roll because they might need them on the roll anyways. So he would have to splice. I mean, there's ways he could do it where it'd be on the roll, but it would be a little bit more work, let's say. So sometimes you're better to sub things out if you're busy, or if you've got, just because you have the right of equipment, it doesn't mean there's another equipment that could do it better for you. And if you don't have that and you're running something else, it doesn't always hurt to sub it out. Like, I mean, on something like that, he could run it that way, but I'm sure over time though, too, some of them companies are going to want him on a roll. And if he doesn't have a roll printer, he's not going to turn the customer away. He's just going to probably look to get either buy a printer or literally sub the work out to someone else. So you keep the money coming in. Yeah, Linda says she does. We chat to mail business, passing the blessings forward. Yeah, guys, check. Like I said, check them out, guys. And Mike does it too. They just started out, so I'm pushing them towards them, Mike. But G6 and them guys, they've been in business, I think, 2 years now, a year and a half, 2 years. They won the printer before COVID hit. So COVID shut everything. So maybe 2 years at most. But like I said, guys, G6 can knock the stuff out for you guys. They're great people, guys. Give them a shout out. Go like them on Instagram. Like Mike's too, guys. Nova Works. Follow his stuff. He just did another wedding floor, guys. That's some cool stuff, guys. There's good profit in that stuff too. So like I said, look into doing other things. I mean, you're not going to do wedding floors every day, but there's good money in everything. You just got to make sure that you know what you're doing and find a follow. Mike did the video, even how he laid out that floor. It was a really good video, guys. Raquel, I had messed up so many 20-ounce tumblers at one point. I'm getting ready to sell my printer. Yeah, I mean, it does happen, Raquel. That's why I was saying, like, there are ways, like, you can take the vinegar method and all that, strip them. You can heat them and strip them. You can put vinyl over them. Like, the thing is like, find a medium that's, for instance, like when you're learning sublimation, buy like a bed sheet that's polyester. You can buy them for like $5-10, or go to the fabric store, buy polyester. At least that will get you kind of in the ballpark range to make sure what you're doing before you go try to do something like one-off or something like that. Find the cheapest medium that you can work with, and then work your way up till you feel comfortable. I've scrapped, even on the tumblers when I got them in, I've scrapped quite a few tumblers just messing around with them as I was learning. That's the reason too why I don't sell them. The ones, that pink ones that I showed you, can you do them? Yes. They are almost twice as hard to do them as it is a normal tumbler. That's why I didn't sell them, because I didn't want people to keep calling me like, hey, I'm running into issues. The window that you have on them, a normal tumbler, you could go a minute longer and it really not destroy it. Like Juan went almost 3 minutes longer than he normally did on them. They didn't destroy them completely. They're still not that bad looking. These pink ones, you're a minute off, they're junk. They don't come out as good. The window's too small to failure rate, where I didn't feel comfortable selling them in the store. That everyone's temps, times, and all that are different, and I didn't want people to mess with it and not get them to come out good. So I went that route. But that's why I do a lot of research on the stuff I sell. Is just, I'd rather me ruin it than me sell it. And that's why, like I said, I don't sell them. Are they bad tumblers? No. I mean, they do what they do. They keep the drinks cold. The window to learn with them ones on certain colors, and that's the thing too, is certain color ones, like the pinks are hard and the purples, they're hard to get spot on. You can do it, but it's a lot more practice. So I found it easier just not to do them, not to mess with them. Raquel, you have, Marina says, you have to watch Waldo's video and Juan's videos. I've only done 2 and they came out good. Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of videos, Raquel, that, like, where I've spent the time and the effort to kind of go through and find all the ways that people do mess up and then try to fix it. Like I said, like a good example, most convection ovens, that dial is not correct. I take a meat thermometer one with a digital one, run it outside, and mine is almost 30 degrees difference. And it's reading 30 degrees the other way. So, hey, Jimmy, how's it going? So the big thing with that is if it's reading 30 degrees off and that's reading 30 degrees hotter than what it is. So if I turned it at 400, now it's 430. So them tumblers are destroyed. So the biggest thing is get a digital, and the dial ones are fine, like the thermos, like the or the mechanical ones that just have the needle in there. The problem with them is they don't respond as quick as a digital thermometer does. Like my digital one, when I open that door, that's the other thing, and that's how I can tell people too. You're going to have to adjust your time when you open that door to when you close it. Hey, Brenda, how's it going? Because when I open the door on the other tumblers, that temperature will drop 100 degrees, and it will go almost as low as 200 degrees if I leave it open and I'm moving them around. And I close it, it doesn't shoot right back up. It's got a creep in it, and it takes about 20 seconds to get back up to where it was at, 20, 30 seconds. That's not that big a time, but if you're watching the tumblers and you got 4 minutes, now you're not at 4 minutes at that 375. Now you're at it for 4 minutes at 350, and then the time change and the variation. I mean, so you got to adjust your time accordingly. So having the digital will get you in a tighter range so you can see what's going on inside there. The biggest thing, though, about it, it will tell you your oven temp because, like I said, them gauges are wrong. And a lot of them, too, even on that one, when it hits that, it slowly starts creeping up even higher. So you can adjust how your temp is on that oven and control it better and worry and kind of eliminate the creep issue and kind of get it dialed in a lot better. Bigger ovens work better, like when Juan did the big one. They're more consistent on the temp, and then their dials are a little bit better. But even a digital dial on some of them aren't as accurate because what they're doing, they're not running as many thermocouples and all that into it. It's just a what digital thermometer works best. Honestly, Brianna, just a cheap one from literally like one that you would stick in the meat. I'll go grab the one I use. I have a problem is making the image the right size and measuring the tumbler, but I think I need to figure out the program more. Most of them are the image already printed and go from there. 1 second. Okay, here is the one that I use. It's touch sensitive, so let me remember. Here's a way to turn it off. There we go. It is just a little Accurite from Walmart. There's the probe. They sell for less than $10. I think they're $6 to $10. It's a thermocouple probe. You would technically, in meat, you would stick this in. I've got a rotisserie attachment, so what I do is drop this through there and kind of hover it. Some of it's going to sit near the bottom, but I make sure it doesn't touch the rods. The rods are the heat thing. And then so what it is when it turns on, this one's touch sensitive, so you've got, it says cook, like you've got different settings, so you can put it for meat, but it's saying what the temperature is. So right now it's 72, and then you can set your target range on the bottom. And you do that by pushing down here and then setting it. But it'll start beeping when it hits that target. The other thing you've got too, though, you do got a timer. So what you can do is you can time the stuff when it's running. So let's say it takes 4 minutes. You're going to adjust for the heat temperature. So you're going to add it to like 4 minutes, 45 seconds. You just set the time to either count down and it beeps, or you can just set the time to start counting, like as a count up timer, and you watch that, and then you're good to go. So that's what I use. There's loads of them. I just go with the digital, and the reason I say they're better, like, and this got magnets on the back. The reason I go with the digital, like I said, is literally, let me go back to the temp, like, so I'm just from holding it in my hand. See, it's 79, 80, 82, 84. You can see how quick it responds. 86, I'm letting off. And you can see the temp coming down. And so that's the reason why I like digital. A dial one, you're not going to see 1 degree difference with your eye on a dial one because they're broader range where that's going to read from 0 to, let's say, 400 degrees. That little bit of increment, your eye's not going to pick up. So that's why I would say that. The other thing, Raquel, is like now all my tumblers are straight tumblers. You don't have to worry about cutting them on a taper. These are cut on a taper. If you're running taper tumbler, tapers are a little bit tricky. On a normal tumbler, you can run, I think it's like 9.3, which is a little bit longer than 9 1/4. And then the height is like 8.2, I think it is. You can run it that way and literally just add a little extra. What I do is, like I said, even on the taper, because I measure every tumbler I do just to make sure that it's going to fit for each tumbler, because they are going to vary some from tumbler to tumbler. And then I think this is a tapered one. So even a tapered one is going to have a different amount. But I do always, like, this is way too much overhang. So this is a taper. But I always leave a little extra, and then I didn't cut the top of the paper. So, but like, I always have them go over. I know some people are big at not going past the curve because they'd rather have that clean edge. That comes down to personal choice. I roll my paper on them, and I'll show you. Like, if you look, there's no issues. The only time you're going to see is on the very bottom. I get my paper to go all the way down to the bottom, but at the edge, it's clean as can be. So that's the thing. It depends on how you set it up. You can see the seam. There's the seam. Let me try to find a better spot to point it. Right here, because you can see where the transfer side is. But if you do it good, like, you can see the line, the image lines up perfect. Just take your time. All right, good having you on, Mike. But just take your time when you're doing it up, like, especially if I'm doing something like this that's got to line up the seams. I'm going to spend my time and look at that image and make sure my seam's right where I need it. And these are tapered ones, so I didn't, like, it was even harder to line tapered up to get it. But just spend your time and make sure everything's lined up. And I let the stuff overlap a little bit. It's just me. I mean, I don't go like a big inch or anything. I go about a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch overlap. And it tends to work pretty good. But yeah, it's just a trial and error thing, and it does take time and practice. There's nothing I can say that's going to make it super simple. But I hope that does help, Raquel. Hopefully get you more in the ballpark on working with the artwork. The other thing too, once you find a size that works perfect, make a template. Like, I use Photoshop, and in my Photoshop, I got a template. So literally, like, and I created this one today. So I knew it's a tapered one, but I didn't feel like, I just made my image bigger anyways. I cut the angle to know the angle that I got to be on to get it kind of started, and then I'm going to blend it in. I'm literally going to just hand cut it to get it the rest of the way. But that's what I would do. Inkscape. I don't use that much. There are other softwares on there that are free that you can do stuff just like Photoshop on there, but it's the other free one. But if you're good in Inkscape and you get it down pat, it will work. Like, even the files that we have, they're all PNG, so they'll open up and all that stuff, and they all tend to work. So just get whatever, the thing I tell people, get used to whatever software you're using and understand it. Like, Juan doesn't use Photoshop. He uses Corel Draw. Find what works best for you, though. Master that program. Get it where you know it inside and out, and then it's a lot simpler to mess with. Like, for instance, in Corel Draw, it's harder to do like these tapered ones and do the arch, the top and the bottom. I built a template, and then how I use it in Photoshop, I use a warp. It takes me 10 seconds to warp one. Or what I do is I'll just do a knockout. So I've got the whole center hollowed, and I've got like a frame around it. So I drop it and layer behind it and just put it in the middle that way, depending what the artwork is and do I need it to line up on the side. If I do, I'm going to warp it. If I don't, I just let it drop in there. But that's kind of how I work with some of the artwork and files. And it's just one of them things. Find out what works best for you. Everyone's got different ways to do the things. I'm bad at stacking loads of layers up. Not always blending things. I blend things differently. I use different tools. But everyone will have something. Find what works best. But learn. Like, go online, watch a lot of people's videos, because you'll learn techniques. Like, I follow people all the time. And I'll find someone that made one, and I'm like, hey, I like what they did there. I'm going to learn that technique to do that part. And then I'm going to do my own, maybe work on something different, that I would do something different. Jimmy says, Waldo, I'm trying to sublimate shot glasses. Any templates? That I don't, Jimmy, because I don't know what size shot glass you're using. Normally, like I said, if I ordered one in and had a shot glass, it's pretty simple to make a template. Are you using straight shot glass, or are you using the tapered ones? You're probably using the tapered ones, I'm guessing, Jimmy. Raquel, thank you. I have to get something that works for me, because Inkscape isn't for me because I can't understand their measurements. Yeah, that's the thing, Raquel. I'm not big on Inkscape. People do use it. I will try. If you go to my one video, I show you a free one. It's a video where I think I'm going over Photoshop. It is one that I'm doing over Photoshop, how to make a template video, Raquel. In that video, I give a link to the one that works very similar to Photoshop, and it's actually free. It's online. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I have that one, and I think I got a video where I use it also and make a Tumblr with it. And then, like, I love Photoshop. It works great for me. I've used Photoshop forever, though. But Photoshop's not for everyone. The thing with that, Jimmy, if I knew the diameter on the top, at the very top and the very bottom, I could get you one really close. But I need the measurements on the very top and the very bottom of it. And literally, the best way, I mean, especially with shot glasses being smaller, I don't understand Inkscape. I would rather have it be with calipers. So, like, a good example, which I don't know if you got calipers. These are my Browning Sharp. So what I would do is, like, and this is what I do with my program. I mean, there's a paper works just as good. Take a piece of paper. I'll show you the two ways that I would measure them. But normally what I would do is I'd take this. These are my calipers. They're digital calipers by Browning Sharp. These are I used to be a machinist. These are $high ones. They're not. So, like, I'm measuring here at the very top of this thing. I'm getting 2.903 on the circumference. And then on my bottom, I'm getting 2.663. So you can take and measure that. There's a pi r square formula that will get you the length. So you can do that. The other method is you can also hit that stupid timer. Love save. You can take Yep, these are okay done. So you can take a piece of paper, and you got to do this at the top and bottom. Jimmy, you can take a piece of paper and literally you got to get the paper at the very top. So you can see the paper seam through there, or at least I can. I don't know if you guys can. See that seam running through there? So you can take that mark that piece of paper like I did just there. And now you can measure from here to there. And now you've got the circumference of that, or the, not circumference, you've got the length. Now the problem is these are 6-inch calipers, so that's not going to work. So now what I'd have to do is, you got a fabric tape measure, you can run around the top and bottom. I don't have a fabric tape measure here, so I have my normal tape measure. So I'm going to put that on that mark. So that's a 16. So I am a 32nd past 9 1/8. So I would, you can call it 9 1/8, or you can 1 1/8 is 125. So bump that up to 130, and that's on this tumbler. So that would be my top. I do the bottom, and then draw your line, and then just connect the sides, and that's going to give you the angle you need, because it's got to line up. But that's how you can make a template. It's a lot of work, but that's kind of how it's done. To arch the top and the bottom, you know the radius of it, because I just did this. So the radius is going to be the arc diameter on it. If that makes sense also. You can be off a little, make it a little bit bigger, and just line it up and have it hang over. There's no right or wrong way. I mean, there's a right and wrong way, but it will work as long as you get it close enough. But that's some of the stuff I use. I don't understand Inkscape. I use Sawgrass program. I wish I could help you. Yeah, and that's the thing too. A lot of people use Sawgrass. I will say this: Sawgrass makes it nice. You overpay for the printers and the ink, but they have the program stuff built into it. So they've got all your templates done. They make new templates all the time. So if it's a new product, you can literally, they're going to have something in there. So you can build the templates that way, where if you're going at it the way, like using Photoshop and all that, or like I do, I got to make all my own templates, which isn't bad, but to some people, they don't want to sit and make templates or understand about that. And so it can take time to understand that stuff and understand the means that go into making templates, or things like a good example. Here's a coffee cup. Got bolts in it for something. But like, you can measure around there. You can see how far this is going to be. You can make your own measurements and templates. And the more accurate you are, like for instance, if you use calipers, you're going to be within thousandths, which human hair is 8,000ths. So you can get that close of tolerance. Or a tape measure, it's as good as your eye is. But if you're going to add a little extra on it anyways, do the paper method. That's going to get you close. Get you right there. I mean, and you can wrap a tape measure. They're not made to really wrap. Get a fabric one, though, that is. Do that, mark it, take your measurements, and work on a template. But that's what, but the other thing, too, is every tumbler I get that I'm making, I'm going to kind of measure either with my calipers or the tape measure and just see how close we are. Normally, I'm going to take my calipers and I know what the diameter is. And so if I see something like way big or way small, I'm going to add more, subtract more. But tumbler to tumbler, because you got to remember, they're going through a machine and they're being powder coated the outside. So it could have a thicker coat compared to the one right behind it. If the guy was a little bit long-handed or slow, if it's getting ready to go to break and he's just like doing this, it could be thinner. So every tumbler is going to be, I mean, it can be within an 1/8 inch difference. Most of them is going to be within about a 1/16. So your artwork's going to be fine. But just remember that as you're doing that, and adjust accordingly. And like I said, especially on the straight tumblers, the nice thing, if you print it a little bit long and the artwork something like this that can be trimmed off because the artwork's usually in the center, all you do is once it's long, let's say I was a 1/4 inch long on here, I just mark and then I cut straight down and then you're good to go. It's always better to have it printed more and a little bit longer than not enough. You can't stretch paper. But like I said, you can put it on there, mark it, and be like, okay, I'm this much long. I don't want to have that much. and cut right next to the line, run it down and tape it up. And hopefully that will help you some. Like I said, I do a normal setting, and then I always save my stuff. So once I do have something, so even if you're using Inkscape, Raquel, once you found one that was kind of close, and the other thing too, instead of printing your whole thing, just print a boundary box around it and put like a 2-pixel line around it or a 3-pixel line and print that out so you're not wasting ink, and print it on normal paper. See how it lines up. Once you find that, save that file and just open it up every time. Hope that helps. I thank everyone for stopping in. So I'm getting ready to hop off here, guys. Is there any other questions anyone has real quick? And I'll try to answer them. If not, I'm going to hop off for the night. I thank everyone for stopping in. Thank everyone. If you guys don't mind, give it a thumbs up if the video helped. If not, sorry. I'll try to answer more next time. Keep an eye out, guys. We got some other things coming up. And then in the pipeline, if there's any products you guys want to see me carry, let me know, and I'll try to carry them. Good night, everyone, Raquel says. Yeah, good night, Raquel. Like I said, if there's something you guys want to see, let me know. I'll try to cover it, try to help you guys out, try to make a video on it for you guys. Check that video out, Raquel. And it shows that other program, and I'll try to make a video on it. And the other program's completely free. Won't cost you a dime. Good night, Lily. I got your thing, Lily. Pam, do me another favor, Pam. Message me, Pam, once we hop off so I have it. Or you can text me, Pam. I got your information. I'll text you the thing. But text me, Pam, what it's saying the shipping is so I can create the code for you, Pam. And I will get it taken care of, Pam. And I'll get you that thing tonight so that you can order them tomorrow, Pam. And we'll get it shipped out Monday for you. Thanks, everyone, again. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks to all the new subscribers and all that. Keep an eye out, guys. We're going to be doing the giveaway soon. We're getting closer. So as soon as we hit that giveaway, we're going to give some products out, guys. Some big stuff. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope everyone has a great night. Take it easy. Have fun printing and all that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm Waldo. I'm out. Thanks, guys. Night.